Hi, I'm Greg Hunter. This is the weekly news wrap-up for Friday, February 15th, 2013. The big story this week is the State of the Union address, and not just because the president talked. And listen, I think the president's a charismatic guy. He got his point across, even though I think he doesn't want to cut anything. I don't think the Democrats want to cut anything. I think they want to raise taxes again. But I think he did a fine job of giving the State of the Union address as he sees it. I think Marco Rubio, the Republican senator, for his rebuttal, did a fine job, even though he had the old drinking water routine, which I think is silly and stupid. And they're criticizing and making fun of that one. We have important issues in the country. Financial issues, major financial issues. But here's what I think the big story is. And let me just show you. First, this is the USA Today. This is the nation's news. They used to be called the nation's newspaper. You see, the big story. Obama, wants to, reignite the engine of America as the middle class. And look at the coverage here. It's just wall to wall. Can you see all this? All this coverage, and there's Senator Rubio, right here someplace. There you go. There he is. He's there. His rebuttal and all that. But you know what? What's not here? What's not here is the other rebuttal. I mean, it was a near mainstream media blackout, as far as I'm concerned, with Rand Paul. I mean, the left-leaning part of the media made all kinds of funny and condescending remarks about Marco Rubio, which I didn't think he deserved. The right part of the media, doesn't like the president. Okay, I got that. But, even Fox blacked out Rand Paul, senator from Kentucky who represented the Tea Party. And, there's no wonder why they're doing that. They want to look like a united party, the people at Fox, I guess. But I think Rand Paul gave the most coherent plan for getting the nation's finances in order. He punctuated his short rebuttal speech with that we were spending $50,000 per second. It's on my site. You can look at his speech, and the text is up there too. And also proposed a balanced budget amendment. We have serious fiscal problems. We're printing $85 billion a month with 0% interest rates through 2015, and everybody's like, that's okay. That's normal. Well, what could go wrong? There's no downside for that. Really, no downside for that whatsoever. And so, I just thought that it was pretty unfair that, we want solutions for the country, not the solutions from the Democrats or from the Republicans, but just a solution, and not blame game theater. Make some hard choices and stick by them instead of trying to blame the other side. But I thought it was a kind of an insulting mainstream media blackout of Rand Paul and what he had to say. I thought he had the best argument for what to do to fix the problems of the country, which isn't going to be easy. Cuts, taxes, and none of that stuff's easy. Speaking of cuts and taxes, the automatic spending cuts called Sequestration are going to hit March 1st. I think most of next week, Congress is going to be out of town, so they have 5 days before March 1st to come up with a deal. But, some people say, the sky's falling. It's terrible. We'll have less security at the airports, and the military is going to take a huge hit, and it's going to hollow us out. I mean, we're talking, this is, a very little money here. I mean, in relationship to the deficit bucket, I mean, it's a percent of the, not even 0.5% of the $16.5 trillion that we're talking about. And some people say we should just go ahead with the sequestration and go ahead. At least we'll get some cuts. And other people are scared, worried about it. And of course, Democrats want to raise taxes. They want to, kind of avoid this and raise taxes. And it's a mess, and I think the Republicans are looking like they're going to say, "Hey, we sucked it down, and we gave you $600 billion in taxes over 10 years, which we spent incidentally with one bill by sending $60 billion to the victims of Hurricane Sandy. One bill, whoop, that wiped out that tax increase that we're bringing in. One bill did that." But I think this could make some really nasty, shaky market upsets. The stock market could be upset. I mean, if they don't get a deal together, people like, John Williams at shadowstats.com says, hey, we could have a real meltdown. We could have a real sell-off in the dollar. I think there also is the possibility of that, and also a credit rating downgrade. I mean, the U.S. government is suing S&P. They downgraded U.S. debt before. Will they do it again? Are they doing this to get other people not to downgrade? I don't see how at least one of the rating agencies, the big ones, don't downgrade something the way we're going, which could be messy, ugly, and nasty. Chuck Hagel in the Senate, he's been nominated to be Secretary of Defense, and the Republicans are stopping him by filibuster. They're at least postponing his confirmation as Secretary of Defense. I mean, the left says, oh, they're doing this during a war, and although I think I think it's okay for now. But in the end, I think the Secretary of Defense will basically do what the president wants anyway. He's elected. He made it into office for 4 more years. But I think the Republicans want more information about Benghazi. It was a disaster, a foreign policy disaster. We already found out that, Hillary Clinton, the former Secretary of State, Kerry took over for her, she said, well, I didn't read my cables. Wow, you didn't read your cables. We also, found out the president didn't make any calls the night of the attack, which went on for 7 or 9 hours. And does it make a difference whether Hagel gets confirmed as Secretary of Defense or not? I don't know if it makes that big of a deal, but I think the Republicans will want to find out more about Benghazi before he is confirmed as Secretary of Defense. A senior Iranian commander has been killed in Syria, assassinated. Could it have been the Iranian? I mean, could it have been the Israelis? Could it have been, Al-Qaeda, which the West is backing in Syria? And, Hezbollah is, backing the Syrian regime, Assad regime. And, all this to say, we just had a commander from Iran killed in Syria, which means, they got people there advising the Syrians, the Syrian regime. And this is an escalation of hostilities. There are no peace plans. There are no peace talks. Just 60,000 Syrians killed so far in this bloody civil war with no end in sight. North Korea made another nuclear test. A successful nuclear test. Now, Ira Harris said, well, we say they're like a 4-year-old kid with a temper tantrum. They need, food and energy, and they want attention. And, I say to that, a 4-year-old with a nuclear device, dangerous. And where could that nuclear device end up? And could they sell one to some crazy terrorist country? I don't know, but that's a serious wild card wrinkle on the world stage. And you want to know why the housing industry is doing well. We talked about this with Fabian Calvo. Is that, hey, no money down loans. They're back for houses. And you know what? You know how the car industry, oh, wow, it's healthy. It's doing great. Well, 45% of the loans are subprime loans. And here, in my area, in the last couple of days, 2 big, well-known car dealers, well-respected car dealers, on with commercials saying, hey, we can get you a 0%, no money down loan. Don't worry if you had a bankruptcy or a repossession. Come on in and get a car loan. No money down car loan. Subprime car loans, 45% subprime. Unbelievable. I hear another bubble inflating. Once again, we have to be the dumbest people on the planet. And one other thing that, speaking of locally, I went by one of the Walmart stores here just to check on, with all the this gun control legislation and all that, just to check on ammunition. Not guns, just ammunition. Just to see what they had. And they're out of everything. The store I went to, Superstore, they're out of 22s, 223, 45, 40, 38. They're out of, most of their shotgun shells. I think they had a couple of boxes of 410 shells. I mean, it's unbelievable. Also, there's a 3-box limit at Walmart. I called to the Walmart on the other side of town, about a 30-minute drive away. What did I find out? No 45, no 40, no 223, no 38, no 9mm. We have a few boxes of shotgun shells. I think we have some 30-06 and a couple of boxes of tape. And what the manager told me was, they just can't keep up with demand. They are not going to stop selling shells, but they can't keep up with demand of people buying this stuff and it flying off the shelves. What does that tell you about the psyche of people? And I don't mean crazy. I mean, what does that tell you about what they're thinking, or how scared they are that they're stocking up on ammunition? I think that's outrageous. I don't think it's bad. I just think it's kind of a scary sign of our times. And finally, I want to bring up some internet attacks that happened on sites like mine. A King World News fine site, also SGT Report, and other sites were attacked this past week. And King World News broke its silence, said, it was a vicious attack. There was malware, and, they got into the site, and they, caused a lot of problems. But, they paid people to stand on the wall. And if you may remember, the USA Watchdog was attacked a few weeks ago. And these guys are clever. They're good. I don't care how good your security is. They can usually break in, but this is part of the expense. This is what King World News said on their site, that we pay a company to try to thwart attacks and bring us back online if we get taken down. That's one of the hidden expenses with any site that does alternative news, like mine, like SGT Report, like King World News, and other sites that have been taken down in recent weeks. So you need to continue to support these sites if you want to get alternative news and good, solid, actionable alternative news. That's the way I see it. I'm Greg Hunter. Thank you for supporting USA Watchdog in all the alternative news stations that I told you about. I'm Greg Hunter. Have a good weekend.